It looks like there's another stumbling block in the center of the road for Dillian Whyte. Could it be fate that is dealing him a cruel deck in the field of play with boxing, or is he deservingly receiving the treatment from a guy who shuns the proper way of going about obtaining a shot at the world title? We're going to talk about this and more as we look deeper into the lichen, Dillian Whyte, and what's going on with his career. Dillian Whyte, heavyweight contender, a person that Stormy B-Man likes to have a lot of fun with when it's time to talk about him, because Dillian Whyte is not the most likable of characters. And we've seen him time and again with various sound bites come about and really become an irritant in the sport of boxing. But the good news that has been handed down sees Whyte on the outside looking in once again when it comes to challenging for the WBC title. According to BBC Sport, and the link for this will be in the description box, Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. The WBC fails to order the mandatory defense for a champion. Dillian Whyte's heavyweight world title ambitions have suffered a setback once again, with the WBC failing to order champion Tyson Fury to fight him next. It appears that Whyte's only existence was to be a guard dog for AJ to keep the likes of Deontay Wilder away from the former unified champion. It goes on to say Whyte was expected to be named as the mandatory challenger to Fury's WBC belt, a title he retained with an 11th round knockout of Deontay Wilder in October. However, the WBC indicated that Whyte's legal battle, thought to focus on his frustrations at not getting a title fight, means they cannot officially call for the mandatory defense. The WBC chiefs had previously said they were intending to order a mandatory defense for Fury if he was unable to arrange a bout with new, unified, and WBA Super, WBO, and IBF champion Alexander Usyk. That unification fight was effectively ruled out as soon as Anthony Joshua triggered his rematch clause against Ukrainian Usyk. Let's just stop there for a moment. Now, Dillian Whyte had opportunities. All he had to do was face one of the leading contenders when Wilder was the WBC champion as early as 3 years ago. He could have fought and faced Dominique Breazeale, who had not yet fought Wilder for Dominique's mandatory spot. He could have also faced Luis King Kong Ortiz. Both fighters and contenders that Whyte elected not to face. And ears were burning when people found out recently that Whyte, who had a bout scheduled in late October against Otto Wallin, it turned out that Whyte pulled out of the fight. And many people felt like he was feeling the heat against the prospect of facing Otto Wallin, who had given Tyson Fury more than enough trouble when they faced each other. It was Otto Wallin that opened up a serious cut over Tyson Fury's eye that almost led to the bout being stopped. In fact, had it not been Tyson Fury and just been a different contender all the same, Otto Wallin may have won that fight on a stoppage by a cut. But the consensus was going into this October pre-Halloween bout scheduled against Wallin that Whyte could possibly lose this fight and his opportunity to challenge for the WBC title, seeing that he was in position to get a title shot. But no, instead of working for his in front of an audience, in front of the boxing public, to really certify he belonging and deserving of a title shot, he pulled out due to a so-called shoulder injury, which many people felt like it wasn't true. And that's fine, because as long as he wants to play those type of games, Whyte is learning fastly the WBC can play the dirtiest of games. That's right. The WBC, they're the kings of the games. And as the BBC article goes on, it says, Whyte, meanwhile, was scheduled to fight Otto Wallin in a contest to determine the mandatory challenger, but pulled out because of a shoulder injury. However, his withdrawal from that bout was not expected to affect the WBC's order, as he currently holds the sanctioning body's interim title. You could believe that if you want to, people, because no one plays games like the WBC. Mauricio Suleiman runs that sanctioning body like a cartel headsman. There was an expectation, therefore, that the WBC would name Whyte as the challenger at their annual convention on Tuesday of this week, but they instead indicated that the ongoing legal battle made such a move impossible. This is beautiful, man. Dillian Whyte getting his comeuppance, And this, as well he should, because he has played so many games and been used as a pawn by Ed Hearn and Matchroom Boxing. So Whyte is getting what he deserves, people. And that is definitely not a title shot against Tyson Fury anytime soon. This is something that'll play out the way it's supposed to, because the WBC, the IBF, and the WBA Super all have a plan in place for whatever's going to go down with that unification between Usyk and Tyson Fury. Either way it goes, you're going to end up with an Anglo being the heavyweight champion of the world, undisputed. And Dillian Whyte will be relegated to fighting fringe contenders because he's not interested in fighting anyone in the top 10. And that's deserving to Whyte. All he had to do was step up to the plate and face Brazil or Luis King Kong Ortiz. And since he didn't have the cojones to go in and do that, now it's get to the back of the line, huh? And they're going to make sure that that line is pretty long, huh? Very long, in fact. Because Whyte is not the type of guy who is really going to try to face the best. He wants the easy route. The WBC ain't having it. As they look to call Whyte out, I'll read on. And remember, he did this to himself. The arbitration case is believed to center about Whyte's frustration with the WBC's decision-making in recent years, having spent long spells atop of their rankings but never been offered a crack at the title. That's because you haven't fought anybody. You've just been hanging around, huh? Like a dog waiting on a crumb to fall off of the dinner table. Yeah, that's right. But as I go forward with the article, this is beautiful, by the way. It says, Whyte remains the interim champion title holder, but the news will come as a huge blow to the body snatcher, who held a press conference after his withdrawal from the Wallin fight, detailing his injury and looking ahead to a fight with Fury in early 2022. It's not to be, people. It's not to be. British fight fans are keen to see Whyte take on Fury. The bout will be expected to take place in the UK in what will be a long-awaited homecoming for the Gypsy King. Fury has made Las Vegas his home since penning a deal with ESPN and Top Rank in 2019. With his last fight in the UK in August 2018, he beat Francesco Pianetta in Belfast. Should the WBC's issues with Whyte drag on, Fury could still return to the UK in his next fight while he awaits the outcome of Joshua's rematch with Usyk. So this is what's going to happen. Dillian Whyte will be hanging on the outside, hungry, stomach touching his back, because they're not going to feed him anything. He's going to have to fight. Everyone else's careers will go on, and he will be stalled out. And it's his own doing, because all he had to do was get in the ring and face someone. And since he wasn't interested in doing any of that, the division has passed him by. Salute to Otto Wallin, who may get a crack at the title before Whyte does. And deservingly so. A rematch with Fury would be interesting. And Whyte, once again, will be waiting for a call that may never come. The beautiful thing about this scenario is Tyson Fury is calling the shots. And I don't think he is without a silver bullet for the body snatcher. There have long been games played in boxing, and it looks like in this mess of games, the Lycan has played himself. You can't make this stuff up. And it's looking more and more like Whyte and his title chances very well may be, pun intended, down for the count. This clip never gets old. You gotta love it. And I think you could just use the analogy of this clip with Whyte being KO'd by the WBC. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you can't make it up. It's a beautiful thing. So, as the sun sets on the Lycan, the moon rises from the WBC. This is Stormy B Man. That's all I have for you right now. Leave comments and thoughts on what you think about this whole ordeal. And what do you think should be next for the Lycan? Should he really get a title shot? Or should he get to the back of the class? Huh? Shout out to the LDBC, the Lions Den boxing community, and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. This is Stormy B Man. Peace to everyone out there. Until next time we meet, everyone please remain safe.